Thank you very much. Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me, and I would like to congratulate you. I'm sure that we will have two interesting days discussing the future of Thessaly playing in the digital era. I will talk less about the digital era. I will try to give you a bigger picture of the new CAP, and I have the honor to be at the same panel with three experienced people, two of which have taught me a lot about this complicated but most important part, the most important industry, that is the agri-food industry. Before we see the future, let's take a look at the present. This is news from Europe and the research service of the EU. And we see that floods and fires that are not that are extreme events have intensified by human activity, and in the future they might be further intensified. The same goes for Thessaly plain. Floods, fires, heat. So it is clear that the first activity impacted by this by this activity is the agri-food sector, because our forests, trees and fields are exposed to these climate change effects. Now, the Haniotis research shows us what's going to happen in the next few years. We see scenarios from 2026 to 2045. So IBCC has given us four scenarios. The first one to the left is the best case scenario. We will leave this scenario if the global climate cooperation is successful in the next few years. And if this request to reduce carbon emissions by 50% and by 100% until 2050 is followed. Of course, lots of work is needed. Glasgow has shown some significant results, but we must be sure to continue this effort. It is with great pleasure that we have noticed the draft bill on the climate law that will lead to a lot of change in Greece. Now, what about water? You see that by 2040 our country will be among the ones having the greatest problem in terms of water supply and availability. So the EU has voted the European Green Deal that will try to deal with the problem in a holistic way and bring radical and profound changes in all sectors of the economy and therefore economic policy. There is a great ambition on the part of EU for all sectors and industries, from energy savings to transport, from clean energy and up to mobility, changing financial rules, the introduction of new social cohesion tools, from the protection from pollution, and of course, regarding agricultural production. It is important for us to understand that all industries are called to change. In the draft bill presented yesterday, the automobile industry is called, from 2030 and on, is called to stop selling internal combustion engines. So we must all embrace this change and agree that this CAP that is long due. It has not been introduced in a timely manner, and however, it is a tool that needs to prepare us for the upcoming world. And we see that the Green Deal is accompanied by a tsunami of new strategies. We have the farm to fork strategy, and yesterday it is the first time that the EU published an EU soil strategy, and this couldn't be more important for Thessaly. We talk about biodiversity, new strategy for chemicals, for circular economy, for zero emissions and pollution, and another series of strategies that interact with the CAP. We will discuss the CAP during these days because it is the first time that the CAP also is obliged to get out of a restrictive framework in which it used to operate, namely farmers, producers, and we understand that as the oldest policy of the EU, it will now incorporate other strategies in order to lead to the sustainable food system. Such a system shall provide value to the farmer's work. It shall ensure quality food for consumers, and all of these need to be done in a way that protects biodiversity. Up to the present, today our system provides us with adequate food. As for the financial support of farmers, as I have seen, at least personally, I do not hear people being satisfied. Everyone wants something better. There are a lot of challenges, not only the increase in population and climate change, but also the increase of non-infectious diseases, the pressure on natural resources, and of course geopolitical shocks, and the present and other upcoming pandemics or epidemics that greatly relate, as we have seen, to the extensive use of arable land. So business as usual is not a viable option. We are called upon to change things, including farming. Now, the goals of the EU Green Deal regarding the new CAP concern how the CAP can and should include the targets of the Green Deal. These are two parallel worlds, and the Green Deal is not binding as the CAP is. So we will discuss these issues in the two contexts of farm to fork and biodiversity. We will discuss the reduction in carbon emissions, but also other gases such as methanium. We must reduce pesticides by 50%, chemical fertilizers by 50% as well. And we must increase organic farming by 25%. A percentage of land should emphasize on biodiversity, and we must reduce food waste. As the rapporteur of the new regulation, I must say that we did not measure such things, and it's about time we measured such things. Now we see a new architecture that relates to climate, environment, and health. And it also concerns food habits and the way we farm. So on both sides of the EU Green Deal, that is, both from food policy and the CAP. We see that the CAP must find a way to include the EU Green Deal, and this depends on the national strategic plans. Now, a few words about this one, and this will be the end of my speech. One characteristic of the CAP is that it is more flexible for each member state. Each member state can organize and implement measures of this policy. So this is the result of a great consultation. And in our case, the Greek state will submit to the EU the Greek strategic plan. It's a crucial strategic plan. It is the first time we have this opportunity. And personally, I think it is a great opportunity for the agri-food industry to make itself known worldwide. That is, make Greece known as the best producer of farming products. You all know that we have lots of advantages as a farming community and industry. We also need to invest in innovation, transfer of know-how, digitalization of our equipment, and improving our efficiency. You will agree that the agri-food sector is the industry that has not entered the 21st century in a timely manner. Therefore, improvements are needed because digital technology gives us the opportunity to deal with our big issue, that is to produce bigger and better food with less resources. So I believe that the digital technology is the means to achieve that, and it is up to the committee to ensure, even though not being legally binding, that the farm-to-fork policy will be included in the national strategic plans. I hope that you had a greater chance in participating in this consultation on strategic plans. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, it was not possible for everyone. I couldn't say that it was such a big consultation, at least as provided by the regulations. I would like to thank you, and I'm looking forward to the next panel discussions and questions from the public. Thank you very much.